Well, hello from Paris. Well, it is day 3 of the Paris Olympics. We've been here the guts of a week now, Sean, haven't we? So it feels a lot longer, but it is day 3 of the Olympic Games and plenty of Irish in action today. We're going to talk to you, our boxing expert, Sean, about the boxing. But first, we're just going to talk about the swimming because we have our first finalist of these Olympic Games in action tonight. Mona McSharry has made the final of the women's 100 metres breaststroke. I was out at her heat yesterday. She performed so well in that, swam her second fastest time ever. And then last night, she broke the Irish final, or the Irish record in the semi-final to go through to tonight's final. It is going to be unbelievably tough, Sean. She's got Olympic champions all around her. She's got a central lane, which is really important as well, but she's got a shot of a medal.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a fantastic achievement. I think people shouldn't forget that. To actually reach an Olympic final is a singular achievement. I know she has been there before in Tokyo. She's had tough times since. But to get there and actually to set an Irish record, again, I mean, that's all you can do. And then obviously the opposition will be very tough, but she has a chance. Which is a fantastic achievement.
Yeah, and she's been really open, hasn't she, about kind of those struggles that she had since Tokyo 3 years ago. She came through them and she kind of touched on it again yesterday. She kind of spoke about, you know, maybe she was a bit nervous before that heat, and if she was more relaxed that a national record could come, and indeed it did. So I think she just wants to enjoy the occasion as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's in her mid-20s now, so maybe her swimming career at an elite level is probably coming to a close. So what better way to finish than in an Olympic final? And you know, she has a chance of a medal.
But extremely tough.
It's extremely tough.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing simple out here or nothing easy.
No, and it is an incredible atmosphere out there at the Le Défense Arena. And we've got Daniel Whiffen as well, Sean, in action this morning. He's going in the heats of the 800 metres. First time in the Paris Olympics for him,
And he should. I mean, he has the experience of Tokyo behind him. I mean, it should be a straightforward. Nothing fancy, just get through. He won't be trying to set records or anything. Probably be keeping an eye on the opposition. But the whole purpose of today is just to get through to the final with the minimum of plus.
Yeah, of course. Now, you were out at the boxing all day yesterday. Jack Marley saved the day because I couldn't quite believe when I saw the results coming through what were happening to the other boxers out there. What happened?
Yeah, it was a challenging 24 hours, but that's the nature of the Olympics. It's, I mean, Zora Anthony, the head coach, said there's no easy fights. They might look easy on paper, but when you get into the arena, you have to perform. So we started off with Dean Clancy. You know, his opponent is very experienced, a Jordanian who had been there. This was his third Olympics, so he had the edge and experience. The Jordanian came out and absolutely dominated the first round. And in amateur boxing, though, it doesn't always apply. If you win the first round, it gives you a huge advantage. Now the fight got a bit messy, and the Jordanian was knocked to point at the end, but he got through, and you couldn't really complain about the result. Yesterday, then, we had Aidan Walsh in, who has the experience of being to Tokyo, bronze medal. Now, Aidan has a very unique style. He boxes off the back foot. He's a southpaw, so basically he dances around the ring and throws an odd shot. And literally in the first round, he threw 4 shots. The French guy, he got huge support in the auditorium. This is what I mentioned earlier. This would be a factor. End of the first round, Aidan got all the judges 5-0 up. The crowd went berserk. And then in the second round, it was more or less the same. And then the referee made a crucial intervention and basically went to Walsh and said, you know, you've got to box more. And I think it kind of changed the whole tenure of the fight. And then there was real surprise at the end of the second round when the judges went for the French guy. And then the French guy basically dominated the third round. And Aidan was deducted a point. So that was it. Suddenly it's all over.
And a huge disappointment then, obviously, for Grania. I couldn't believe it.
Yes, that was a surprise. I'm still trying to come to terms with that myself. I mean, on paper, she looked... it was a Hungarian, a 23-year-old. The Hungarian had won the silver medal previously at the European Games, so maybe I underestimated it. I don't think the Irish can do it. But basically, she set out to stifle Grania's style. I mean, she held her, and maybe that's legit. You have to impose yourself, and Grania failed to impose herself in the fight. And suddenly it's all over. It was really disappointing. I mean, what she regretted that she really went through the ropes to get this far.
She did.
And then she didn't do herself justice. But No, that's the nature of it, and it's brutal.
It is cutthroat, isn't it?
It's cutthroat,
Yeah, really
and it's a lot of it is in the eye of the beholder, as in the judges, and it's arbitrary. But that's it. Now there has been some controversy, but we're only at the 2 yet about the standard of judging. But it's too early to say definitively yet what it's like. So we'll wait and see.
Okay, and of course, Olympic champion Kellie Harrington begins her Paris Olympics today. What kind of shape is she in going into this?
I'd be a bit concerned, to be honest.
Okay.
It reminds me a bit of Katie Taylor in 2016. Katie's preparations were disrupted. She had parted ways with her dad, who had trained her from she was a kid. Her training hadn't gone well. She had lost 2 big high-profile fights beforehand, and she was beaten in the first round. Now, we have to say in Rio there was corruption in the judging, so that was a factor.
Yeah.
Here, obviously, Kellie has had her own issues. She has spoken about her mental health and that, and she was beaten at the European Championships the first time since before the Tokyo Olympics. So there is question marks about her form. This girl she's fighting today is an Italian who is very experienced. In fact, she has longer international experience than Kellie. But she normally doesn't fight, and she's only moved up to this weight in the last couple of years, but she has a world bronze medal, so it's no pushover.
Yeah.
But the prize is if Kellie wins, she's one fight away from bronze medal.
Okay, all right, Sean. Well, we keep up to date with all of that, and you can keep up to date with all of today's action on independent.ie.